You ever think about how one simple idea can just change everything? Well, what if that idea wasn't even an idea but a shape? A simple, twisted ribbon. Today, we're going to dive into how this one kind of weird shape totally reshapes how we see international politics and even ourselves.
Okay, so let's start with something that sounds super simple. What is a border? I mean, it seems obvious, right? It's just a line on a map. We hear about them on the news all the time. It's basically how we've organized the whole planet.
And yeah, the usual answer is pretty straightforward. It's a line that separates us from them. Simple. You've got an inside and you've got an outside. But what if that easy answer isn't just a little bit off? What if it's fundamentally wrong? And what if that very idea has been blinding us to how the world actually operates?
So let's get into it. For a really long time, this clean line between inside and outside, it didn't just create walls on the ground. It built this huge, massive wall right through the world of ideas.
I mean, look at this. This split created two completely separate academic worlds. You had political sociology, which was all about what happens inside a state, right? Things like social order, community, all that stuff. And then, completely separate, you had international relations, which only looked outside at war, peace, the big political drama between countries. For decades, it was like they were playing the same game but using two totally different rule books. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you think about it.
And listen, this wasn't just some boring, dusty debate for academics. No way. This wall between inside and outside created a huge blind spot in how we understood everything. We spent all this time studying these two supposedly separate worlds that were, in reality, completely and totally connected.
But then, something changed. A single foundational paper came along that just blew this whole way of thinking up. It wasn't just about questioning the map we were using. It basically said, hey, maybe we're using the wrong kind of map altogether.
And here it is. This is the one, the foundational text that really kicked everything off. It's called Political Sociology and the Problem of the International, and it was written by Didier Bigo and R.B.J. Walker. You have to understand, this one paper helped launch a whole new field of study, what we now call International Political Sociology. And their central argument was simple but revolutionary. That sharp line between inside and outside, that wasn't the solution, it was the problem.
And their goal? Well, it was pretty radical. You can see it right here in their own words. They weren't just trying to, build a bridge between these two fields. No, they wanted to attack the very idea that there was a gap to begin with. They wanted to prove that this clean, neat separation was just a story we were telling ourselves, a fiction that was actually holding us back.
Okay, so to really get how big of a deal this was, we need to look at the old map they were trying to tear up. Think of it as a map of the world, made up of simple, neat circles.
So in the old way of thinking, a state is basically a perfect circle. It's a container, right? It's got a definite inside and a definite outside. Everything happening within those borders, law, society, all of that, that's domestic politics. And everything happening beyond that line, well, that's international politics. It's simple, it's tidy, and as we're about to find out, it's just not right.
I mean, the circle as a shape, or a topology, to use their term, it's all about one thing: separation. It exists to draw a hard, uncrossable line. It creates an us over here and a them over there. And this mental map, this is what dominated how people thought about politics for generations.
So what did Bigo and Walker propose instead? A whole new map. One built on a totally different shape, a shape that, honestly, is a bit of a mind-bender. They proposed the Mobius strip.
All right, get ready for a little perspective shift here. What if we stop thinking about a border as a wall or a line you have to cross? What if, instead, a border is more like a horizon? Something you can always see out there, but its appearance completely changes depending on your position.
And that brings us right here to this incredible image from M.C. Escher with the ants on a Mobius strip. Just follow one of those ants with your eyes. See how it crawls along what seems to be a single, continuous surface? There's no wall, there's no edge for it to cross over. The inside just flows into the outside, and the outside becomes the inside. This, they argued, is a much better map for understanding world politics.
The logic behind this is it's really cool. On a Mobius strip, there is no clear inside or outside. It's all just a matter of perspective. Where you are on the strip determines what looks like in and what looks like out.
If you just keep moving, you'll eventually cover the entire surface, what seems like both sides, but you'll never actually cross a line. The border is always visible, kind of like that horizon we talked about, but it's never a wall you can run into. It's just one continuous twisting loop.
Okay, so this is a really cool geometric trick. I get it. But, so what? Why does any of this matter for politics? Well, it matters because this new map completely forces us to rethink some of the most fundamental ideas we have about the world.
Let's take something like sovereignty, for example. In that old circle view, sovereignty was like a solid wall. Easy. But in this new Mobius model, sovereignty isn't some fixed thing a state has. It's an activity. It's something a state does, constantly. It's the endless political practice of drawing and then redrawing the lines of who belongs and who doesn't. And believe me, those lines are always shifting.
And what does this mean for us, for our identities? The old map kind of forced you into a box. Are you a national person or a cosmopolitan one? You had to choose. But the Mobius strip, it suggests that identity is more like a continuous journey. You aren't just one or the other. You're constantly moving along this surface where local and global just kind of blur together.
And then there's citizenship. It stops being this simple thing like a passport that proves you're on the inside. Instead, citizenship becomes the actual struggle over where the boundaries are drawn in the first place. It's the constant, ongoing argument about where that line should be and who gets to be included in the we.
So let's bring it all home. If our world isn't really a bunch of separate, sealed-off circles, but is instead one single, continuous, twisted surface, and if that line we draw between us and them is really just a product of our perspective, then that leaves us with one pretty big question to think about. On this new map of the world, where do you stand?